Good evening from San Ignacio Town with the 9 o'clock news. I am Tifara Martinez. In the headlines, fatal traffic accident reported on the Hummingbird Highway. Police find the dismembered body of a man in a shallow grave in the Kamalote village. And the Republic of China, Taiwan, has given a grant of $10 million to the government of Belize. Stay tuned for details of these and other stories coming up after these messages.
You too can ride off into the sunset. Milon motorbikes are very affordable. There's a high availability for parts and a wide selection of models to choose from. My Milon, my bike. Available countrywide.
Are you always on the go? Tired of missing your favorite games while they're actually being played? Watch your games and sporting events live with Central TV and Internet's incredible MyTV. Simply log on to www.mitv.bz to get easy access to 25 channels, no matter where you are. With Central TV and Internet's MyTV, you're always in the game.
Here now is the news in detail. Earlier this year, the agreement for mediation of the dispute between the Belize Grassroots Youth Empowerment Association, BIGYE, and the government of Belize over the road reserve at Harmonyville on the George Price Highway was revealed near its completion by BIGYE's attorney, Audrey Matura Shepherd. Most of the issues had been worked out and only the matter of building of roads remained to be addressed as well as legal costs. However, the mediation process is closely guarded and the judge handling this case, Justice Courtney Abell, has moved to have the outspoken attorney cited for contempt of court for her premature revelations. The case was scheduled for this morning but has been adjourned to July as Matura Shepherd is currently involved in a criminal trial and Justice Abell is out of the country. Matura Shepherd declined comment to reporters at court today. In October of 1999, when she was a senator and editor of the Guardian newspaper, party organ of the United Democratic Party, Matura Shepherd wrote an article in the newspaper on the judicial system and was cited by then Director of Public Prosecutions and now Supreme Court Judge Adolph Lucas. However, the case was defeated by several preliminary objections raised by senior counsel and now Prime Minister Dean Barrow, who was Matura's defense attorney. Previously, Matura was handed a 3-month suspended sentence for contempt of a family court proceeding. Oceana Belize today scored another legal victory in its fight against offshore oil drilling. It came via a decision taken by the government of Prime Minister Dean Barrow to discontinue an appeal of a ruling made by Justice Oswald Legal in favor of Oceana Belize, COLA, and the coalition challenging 6 production sharing agreements allowing offshore oil drilling. Via Skype this evening, the Vice President of Oceana Belize, Janelle Chanona, told TNC News that the decision by government to withdraw its appeal against Justice Legal's ruling demonstrates commitment to protect the country's marine resources and Belizean livelihoods.
We certainly view the decision of the government of Belize to withdraw its appeal as a demonstration of the Dean Barrow administration's commitment to safeguard the country's marine resources. As you know, the PM has publicly stated that a moratorium is in effect. So in terms of next steps, as you are aware, Oceana Belize is in the process of proposing language to formalize that moratorium on production sharing agreements for offshore areas with the aim of course to ensure the protection of our economically important marine environment and outline clear benefits to Belizeans today and future generations. In his ruling in April 2013, Justice Oswald Legal had made 3 orders. One was that declaration that the 6 challenged PSAs, the public sharing, let me start again. In his ruling, Justice Legal had made orders. He declared that the 6 challenged PSAs were null and void because no environmental impact assessment was carried out before making the agreement, which was a violation of the Environmental Protection Act, and that the agreements were entered into with companies who did not demonstrate appropriate capabilities, which was a violation of the Petroleum Act.
A press release from Oceana Belize says that in addition to appealing Justice Legal's ruling, the government had obtained a stay of the injunction pending the appeal on the merits. The government had also agreed to lift the stay of that decision, for which Oceana and its co-plaintiffs will be filing an application shortly. Thus, Oceana expects that Justice Legal's wise ruling will be fully enforced in the very near future. The Republic of China, Taiwan, had given a multi-million-dollar grant to the government of Belize. According to a government statement, a check for $5 million was handed over this morning to Prime Minister Dean Barrow by the Ambassador of Taiwan in Belize, Benjamin Ho. The official statement says that the Taiwanese grant falls under the 2015 bilateral cooperation program between the two countries. The money, according to the government statement, will be used to cover a part of the expenditure on key infrastructure projects, including the extension of the Southern Highway and the new bridge across the Macal River in San Ignacio and Santa Elena. Belmopan police this evening confirmed that the body of a man identified as Stephen Hyde, also known as Rambo, was found today in a shallow grave behind a farm in Camalote village. Reports are that Hyde's body was similarly dismembered as that of another Roaring Creek man, 28-year-old Edelberto Madrid. Madrid's body was found in the Young Bank area of Roaring Creek on Tuesday morning. Belmopan police are remaining tight-lipped about their investigation of these gruesome murders. However, TNC News has been able to confirm that authorities believe that the killings of Hyde and Madrid are connected, and the murders may have been committed by the same person or persons. Belmopan police reportedly have 3 persons in custody as their investigation of the murders of Edelberto Madrid and Stephen Hyde continues. The long-awaited meeting between Prime Minister Dean Barrow and executive members of the National Trade Union Congress of Belize, NTUCB, took place this afternoon in Belize City at the Prime Minister's office. It concerned the union's objections to the Petro-Caribe Loans Act 2015, which is now pending amendment in the House of Representatives. It was widely thought that second vice president of the NTUCB and president of the Christian Workers Union, CWU, Audrey Matura Shepherd, would not be allowed in the meeting because of her run-ins with the ruling party. But she was, and she told us afterward, that personality will not play a part in her dealings. According to Matura Shepherd, there remain some critical issues to be addressed with the Act, and they will seek the approval of their members. In particular, she mentions the approval for spending the funds and retroactivity of the Act to cover borrowings that some have deemed illegal. The NTUCB now heads back to its membership, but it does not have a lot of time as the planned amendments are to be presented in the House on June 26. However, NTUCB President Marvin Mora says that while the Prime Minister is confident of the sanctity of the Act and its amendments, he has bent on the issue of allowing other amendments proposed by the Congress and others. He says much was cleared up and the unions have much to now think about. According to Mora, the unions will stay out of the back and forth over criminal penalties and other issues raised by the political parties. Their primary concern is the benefit of the Act to workers. You're watching the 9 o'clock news. Stay tuned for more of the day's stories right after these messages.
The Belize Tire Depot, your one-stop destination. What you will find is a first-class selection of solid, dependable, quality products from the names you can trust. We carry a full line of urea and SureTech tools and equipment to meet every need, from light maintenance around the house to heavy-duty fieldwork. Our tire workshop features the full array of Pirelli, Nexen, and Nankang tires for every vehicle and any terrain. Our trained technicians' #1 priority is to ensure you and your family's safety and security on the road. It's all here at the Belize Tire Depot. From reliable equipment, world-class time-tested tires, to sturdy, durable tools. Merchandise that's built to last with quality guaranteed.
Today's engine technology demands an oil of choice for your vehicles, engines, and equipment. PureGuard is available in Belize in light and heavy automotive, hydraulic, and automatic transmission lubricants in all current oil grades and specifications. Certified by the American Petroleum Institute (API), PureGuard is exclusively distributed in Belize by Westtrack Limited. So, give your engine the treatment it deserves by using PureGuard products and lubricants. PureGuard, premium products that will perform for you.
Welcome back. The quarterly press conference organized by the Statistical Institute of Belize, SIB, took place today in Belize City, and in the area of overall economic development, there was good news to report. On the heels of a 1.6% growth in the last quarter of 2014 and projected overall growth of 3.6% for the year, a growth of 7% was recorded for the first quarter of 2015. Much of that increase was seen in the primary agricultural industries, according to SIB statistician Angelita Campbell, who reportedly increases in banana and orange production. Sugar's late start resulted in a slight bump, but marine products rose by 16%, led by shrimp exports. Secondary industries fell by less than a percent point. Increases in production of citrus concentrate, beverages, and sugar production offset by falling petroleum, electricity, and water revenues and slowdown in construction. The tertiary service level industries were the other anchor of growth, hotel and restaurant reservations, and wholesale and retail trade showing healthy increases. The 7% quarterly growth is the best recorded since 2011 and reverses a negative growth of 1.8% in 2014. The primary trends in trade continue, according to the Statistical Institute, with Belize importing more value-added and mechanical products and exporting even less of raw primary products. Statistician Tiffany Vasquez reports that Belize imported more goods to the commercial free zones and in machinery and transport equipment and manufactured goods, but less mineral and fuel oils due to declining prices. On the export side, Vasquez says recovering exports from the big three, sugar, citrus, and banana, could not arrest the continuing slide of petroleum. Finally, prices are going down. On average, Belizeans pay 1% less than they did at this time last year and about the same over the last 4 months. While prices have been trending up recently, figures for fuel prices reached historic lows in the last year. Food declined 0.1%, with lower prices seen in vegetables offset by meat prices. In the municipalities, the south of the country is paying more than anywhere else, mostly for transport and food and alcoholic beverages in Dangriga and rent in Punta Gorda. Transport costs reduced in Belize City, leading to a decline in the inflation rate. Belize continues to do well in the region with lower inflation rates than our neighbors. A man was knocked down and killed on Saturday evening on the Hummingbird Highway. 26-year-old Alfaro Cruz Garcia was reported riding his bicycle near mile 18 on the Stand Creek Valley Road when he was knocked down by an SUV driven at the time by 37-year-old David Marshall. Police say Marshall was heading towards Dangriga town when he apparently lost control of the Mitsubishi Montero he was driving and crashed into Garcia, who was riding his bicycle in the opposite direction. Garcia was transported to the Southern Regional Hospital in Dangriga, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. Police say they have since served David Marshall with a notice of intended prosecution as their investigations continue. It never made it to the daily police press release, but reports from Punta Gorda town say that 2 people, including a minor, were injured in a traffic accident last Friday. The woman, identified as Angela Budna, was taking her 9-year-old son back to school on a scooter when they were reportedly hit by a vehicle at the corner of Cemetery Road and George Price Street. Photographs taken at the scene show that the boy's leg was badly broken and the woman was flung across the pavement. Budna and the boy were rushed to the hospital for medical treatment and later transferred to Belize City. Reports say that the driver of the vehicle that hit the scooter that Budna was riding on has been served with a notice of intended prosecution. A group calling itself the Alliance of Ministers and Leaders of Belize today sent out a press release addressing 2 national issues. On the issue of the Petro-Caribe Loan Act, the Alliance says that what it calls the creation of a retroactive law to cover the breaking of an established law is, quote, completely dictatorial and we reject such action categorically, end of quote. The Alliance press release says that the Petro-Caribe Loan Act sets a dangerous precedent and calls on the government to follow all established laws, including the original Financial and Audit Act. The second issue addressed by the Alliance of Ministers and Leaders is the gender policy. The Alliance claims that after a series of meetings starting on May 22nd and concluding yesterday, the 26th, they have concluded that the document should be retracted, revised, and re-released. Any attempts to implement those elements of the gender policy, which the Alliance say are objectionable, will, and we quote, be met with stiff resistance and rejection by members of the Alliance of Ministers and Leaders of Belize, end of quote. The dynamic youths leading Guidelight Productions came onto the local scene with a bang in February when they broke up a car overlaid with hurtful messages in Battlefield Park. Their next project is no less ambitious. It is a meeting of the vast majority of Belize's youth leaders from all walks of life on Friday at the newly christened Gateway Youth Center. This youth talk shop, according to organizer Andrew Munnings, will be the seed to the future success of Belize's youth.
Well, these are young, proactive, different breed of young people. These young delegates won't be the one you always see on news and stuff like that, because in our country we do have young leaders that don't have access to the media and stuff like that, but they are leaders. All of them are invited to this forum. So we want all youth leaders, no matter how rich you are, no matter
Among the topics to be spoken about are migration, jobs, crime, citizen participation, education, and other youth issues. Public Relations Officer Sabrina Daly says the format of the event will get youths talking directly to each other, with adults serving as moderators.
Okay, so basically the youth will be separated into groups and we're going to have group discussion based on the topics. So we want to try as much as possible to narrow down the topics as much as possible, you know. So what will happen is there are going to be 2 topics each per group, and you're going to have 4 to 5 minutes to basically express yourself, your sentiments towards the topic. I mean, problems facing in these topics and probably try to come up with solutions to help, with them, maybe initiatives, programs, it doesn't matter, but as long as there's somehow that we can create a solution.
The idea originated from Munnings' visits to regional youth fora. It began at 9 in the morning on Friday and entrance is free. The news on the national channel.
You too can ride off into the sunset. Milon motorbikes are very affordable. There's a high availability for parts and a wide selection of models to choose from. My Milon, my bike. Available countrywide.
The Belize Tire Depot, your one-stop destination. What you will find is a first-class selection of solid, dependable, quality products from the names you can trust. We carry a full line of urea and Shortec tools and equipment to meet every need, from light maintenance around the house to heavy-duty fieldwork. Our tire workshop features the full array of Pirelli, Nexen, and Nankang tires for every vehicle and any terrain. Our trained technicians' #1 priority is to ensure you and your family's safety and security on the road. It's all here at the Belize Tire Depot. From reliable equipment, world-class time-tested tires, to sturdy, durable tools. Merchandise that's built to last with quality guaranteed.
Are you always on the go? Tired of missing your favorite games while they're actually being played? Watch your games and sporting events live with Central TV and Internet's incredible MyTV. Simply log on to www.mitv.bz to get easy access to 25 channels, no matter where you are. With Central TV and Internet's MyTV, you're always in the game.
To end the news, here are the headlines again. Fatal traffic accident reported on the Hummingbird Highway. Police find the dismembered body of a man in a shallow grave in Kamalote village. And the Republic of China, Taiwan has given a grant of $10 million to the government of Belize. With the headlines, we end this edition of the 9 o'clock news. Thank you for joining us. I am Tifara Martinez. Have a good evening and a good night.